This is the iPhone 14 Pro. From the back, comes in pretty colours, but ultimately it looks like an iPhone. I've been carrying it around with me for a few days now. Nobody's batted an eyelid. It's chunky. It's got this aluminium ring here that's supposed to protect it from inevitably getting smashed, but that's not what everybody's talking about. The first thing is this always on display. It's a bit weird when you first get the phone because you feel like you've forgotten to lock it or something. It's not a new idea, but it's certainly new to Apple. And Apple says that it uses hardly any battery life. The battery, by the way, is not bad. They say that it'll last you all day, and I certainly have not been charging this more than once a day. The thing that everyone's really talking about with this device is what they're calling the dynamic island. Basically, on former iPhones, you had a sort of black oblong. Apple has sort of turned it into a little screen to show you notifications. Now, what we haven't talked about yet is the other features that are unique to this new phone. But to do that, we're going to go outside, so come with me. Let me tell you a bit about the camera. There's a 48 megapixel camera on the back of the iPhone 14, which Apple says gives you a much greater depth of zoom when you're taking pictures of really tiny things. It's also 4 times more powerful than the camera on the back of Apple's previous models. You've still got your selfie camera on the front where the dynamic island is. That's 12 megapixels. And it comes with autofocus, which Apple says will give you a better picture of those all-important group selfies. It performs well in low light as well. Here's a dark staircase, and this is what it shot when I sat there. The phone also boasts action mode, increased video stability, and some new emergency features. One of the features of the new phone that I'm not going to be able to show you, I hope, is crash detection. So the iPhone 14 uses a number of different sensors, including the gyroscope. The microphone will pick up the sound of an engine cutting out. An engine, that's right, it won't work for cyclists, not yet anyway, to identify if you are in a severe crash. And if you are, it will notify the emergency services. Apple does seem to think that people that use its phones are often in a situation of mild peril, because another feature of this phone is emergency satellite connectivity. I can't show you that either because it's only going to be available at first in North America, but basically if your phone can't find a signal, you'll be able to point it up at the sky and find a passing satellite and send an SOS message that way. It's the sort of feature that is reassuring to have. How many iPhone 14 users are actually ever going to need it? I'm not convinced.